Wholeness, my dear tree seeds, welcome, 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 welcome. Merry full moon in Gemini, and there's also an eclipse as well, and then we have Mercury retrograde going into full effect, I believe, this Saturday, so we're technically in the shadow period of Mercury retrograde as well, so there's a lot of energy. And yeah, let's get started with this reading. So during my meditation, I focused in on a question that I asked a tree. I went on a beautiful hike yesterday. I think it's called Natureland Park, and it's a pretty. It's not too harsh, not too extensive. I think about each trail was about less than a mile. And I'm used to hikes that are like miles and miles and miles long in the Southwest. But up here so far, that was my first hiking experience here in the town that I'm in the county that I'm in. It was really, really nice. I had no idea that there were actual like pine forests here up in the Midwest, but or northern part of the Midwest. So I was very grateful for that hiking trip. So personally, I don't want to make this reading focus on me primarily, but this is again a message for the human collective. This is an energy reading for the human collective, okay? And I am part of that. So I thought that, this personal experience I had ties very well into this Gemini full moon energy that we're in today and for the next 3 days. So I'm in the middle of moving around, traveling, getting centered within self, and pretty much I'm just being asked to trust and embrace supreme loving guidance at this time. And, I'm in a new place. I don't know anyone, yada, 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 the whole step-by-step, day-by-day process of being in a new place. And I, on this hike yesterday, it was very beautiful, and it wasn't too treacherous. I made it all, it was like this descending path into this beautiful floor area full of pine trees. And I just stayed there for about maybe 10-15 minutes of just taking in that energy, and I found this beautiful tree that I bonded with, and I just held it. And I pressed myself up against this tree. And, when you hug and when you embrace a tree, it's just so beautiful. Like it's such a beautiful, wonderful thing because the energy of the trees automatically pick up your vibration. It's an energy exchange. It takes away what is not serving you, what is heavy on you, and then it'll speak to you. And the more you incorporate tree medicine and tree meditations, like let's just say you take one tree, okay? And this actually looks like a tree. You take one tree or the tree trunk and you sit with it once or twice, 3 times a week. You don't even have to close your eyes and do like hours long meditations. Just sit there for 15 minutes in silence and in quiet and just contemplate. It's a beautiful way to release things that are incredibly like just too heavy for you to process. Your stresses, your anxieties, your fears, right? Again, even though we're out of 2020, we're in 2021, where that 5 energy, that is the wheel energy. It's that the 5 energies of movement, of all the 5 senses engaged in the path, right? If that makes sense, So anyway, tying to this experience, I walk up to this beautiful tree and I wrap my arms around it, and I don't, you don't want to press too hard against your cheek because the bark is kind of tough, right? But just lightly press your breast and your torso. Make sure that your feet, is as flat as it can be near the trunk, and you just breathe in, breathe out, close your eyes, and release, and then receive. And in the moment where I received, I was having this question. I've been questioning, where is my home? Where is my home? Where is my home? In my most recent, and again, I don't want to make this reading focused on me, but on my most recent music project, the short album that I made is called headless. And headless is the Welsh word for feeling nostalgic for something that you can't quite remember, feeling nostalgic for a memory, something that doesn't exist or probably have never existed, but it's this wanting and desire to have it again, the home that you've never had per se. And it's a very beautiful word, and we don't have this word in English. And so I was so inspired. I bumped into this beautiful YouTuber, and she found this word. I was like, headless. And so I looked it up online and the origin of the word, and it's just a beautiful word that even had the sound headless. It sounded so beautiful, and so I felt like in that word and the meaning and the feelings and emotions I felt, I wanted to make music based around how, the feelings I was experiencing, probably many other people are experiencing as well in this 5 energy of this year. So I asked the question to the tree, or this energy I was carrying around, like home, 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 where's my home? Where's my home? And the response was, within is where you belong. I'll say that again. Within is where you belong. Within is where you belong. So, for those of you that are in this process, of releasing a relationship, releasing a job, releasing a home, we're in this, releasing period right now, in this releasing cycle, if you will. And you're trying to find your ground, right? Because Gemini is that wind energy, and it's kind of, there's a lot of conversations, very conversational energy. And so you probably find yourself just so caught up in thoughts and thinking and feeling and speech and talking and going back and forth, back and forth. And this also is an image of a man without a head, so the headless man. So when our mind, our mentality isn't really very centered and grounded and attached to the physical body, we're very, people will call it very ungrounded, right? You're not in your body, you're not in the present moment. Your mind is gone. Your mentality, your mentat, your thoughts are just floating all around, but they're not being centered here within your physical form. And that's what's coming up for the collective. And as always, I always pull 2 runes. The one on the left is the one that I read, and the one on the right gives direction for the reading. And I pulled the medicine wheel. I pulled this wheel, which is symbolic for the cycle, a new cycle, right? Or an end of one. And as you can see, you see the 4, spring, summer, fall, winter. Okay, you see an actual wheel that's spinning in movement, and this could be the head, right? This could be of just rolling away, and a lot of us can feel that way at times during the season, especially with Mercury retrograde, right? That's, for me, Mercury is a very wind energy for me. It's Mercury is the god of communication, and so it's very wind. There's a lot of wind energy right now. So again here, I also see a hand grasping at something. I see, I don't know why, the image of a zipper just closing, unzipping something. It could be you're zipping your coat to prepare to go out into something new, or it could be unzipping something and revealing it. And in this full moon energy, I'm getting more of revelation of something that's just kind of clicking, of making sense. Everything, all the pieces are kind of coming together, and you're able to unzip and take off that coat, right? Take off that cloak, and the truth is revealed. It's seen, okay? That's what I'm also seeing. And here again, I see this 2, which is very symbolic of the Gemini, right? I believe that's the twins, I think, coming into one. So you have duality, you have a split, and then you have a union of some kind during this time. And a lot of the time in that new moon is where I am like coasting. I am in a really good mood. That's usually my moon time of where I shed my life waters, or as known as period, okay? I prefer to call it life waters. And I'm just really like internal, and it's a very powerful time for me during the new moon. Full moon energy, it can be kind of chaotic. Some people, there's some women, there's some men, some beings out there that really just all out like, yeah, I want to live it up. In the full moon energy, it's like, I want to go out, I want to spend money, I want to look good, I want to go out and dance, I want to go see a movie, I want to go do something. I want to make love. Like, it's very active energy. It's a manifestation of the seeds that we planted in the last moon cycle, which is, or not last cycle, but during the new moon phase. So with this union, I just feel like there's a coming together, a unification in this Gemini energy. And again, I'll say this again. I always say this in my moon readings. The moon portals open up 3 days before Moon Day, and then it closes 3 days after. So you have a week, a whole 7 days, which 7 is a spiritual number, a whole 7 days to do your energy work. However, I will say this is very, very important, and I will stress this. During the time, that waning, waxing, I think I'm mixing up my terms here, but that phase when it's the portals are closed, please, 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 that is the time to do the most work. The setting of intentions or preparing. Use that time for preparation. When that portal closes for the full moon, start preparing for that new moon energy. And when that new moon energy closes, start preparing for that full moon energy. I remember earlier on my path, I would just focus, like someone would say in the tribe, oh, it's a full moon today, full moon, woo. And then the next day it's like, over. Or at the end of the week it's like, over. No, it's a continual practice, okay? It's an ongoing practice. Stay engaged with that type of energy if that calls to you. So again, we have the headless man, all right? It's a lot of head energy right now. And when we get into I'll say this, this is how Gemini energy has affected me personally. I was on the phone with my brother, my kid brother, and his birthday is coming up in like a couple of days. So he's definitely a Gemini head. We talked on the phone for a few hours. We talked for a while, and we had lovely conversation, lovely interaction, but it was we understand each other. I have Gemini in my chart. I can't remember what house, but we have a very deep understanding of each other, and intellectually we just click very well. Okay? And some of you guys, you're going to be talking to people and you're like, I don't get it. I don't understand what you're saying. I cannot click. I cannot comprehend you on an intellectual level. But that's okay. When you That's okay. But when you don't understand something, when you don't understand something, when you don't overstand something, ask questions. Ask questions. Ask for clarification. Repeat yourself. Ask them to repeat themselves. Make sure that nothing, because what happens is when there's a misunderstanding, things can get out of proportion, things can be misunderstood, and feelings can get hurt. Okay, so that's kind of the downside in the Mercury season. But with this full moon energy, conversations that need to be had, have them. Okay, this is the time to really let loose. Okay, like if it's something that you've been avoiding mentally, I'm talking about mental, very like repetitive thoughts or things have just been giving you a lot of anxiety. Get it out, right? What I what I desire to incorporate in my practice is, if you have a repetitive negative thought or feeling, but really thinking thoughts, because thoughts are things, write it on a piece of paper and, repeat it to yourself out loud, okay? And release it and then burn it in your cauldron, burn it in your shell, burn it in your sacred bowl, and let it go. And then bury those ashes, okay? And if that thought keeps repeating itself, trust and believe, okay? Have faith that it's being released. Because a lot of the time we ask ourselves, how come that I made my intentions, I'm taking the right actions, I'm making sure I feel good about this, and I'm thinking good thoughts about this. Why isn't this being let go? And there might be just a snag. And during this Mercury season, especially with this Gemini full moon, like there might be some snags. There might be something that, got caught up in the zipper, right? This happens to us all. Like it just gets caught. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason for entanglement. Sometimes we get our hair caught in there. Sometimes we have threads of our clothes caught in there, jewelry, all kinds of things. But that's to get our attention. So if something isn't just zipping and revealing itself naturally, you need to pause. Take the Mercury energy and pause and, reflect again. Go back. Ask questions. Okay? If you're not understanding something, if something isn't being revealed to you and you're like, wait, I'm not really understanding this. Yes. Okay, so I'm being guided to talk about the trees, going within. Within is your home, okay? Within is where you belong. It's where we belong, right? Yeah, I think I'm going to stop. I feel like I should stop the reading now. I think I've said everything I needed to say. And I hope that you find this well. Please, please. I suggest that you listen to my short album called Headless, on my Sounds of Silvertree YouTube channel. If you'd like a private reading for free, please email me at Silvertree, or visit my website, www.silvertreesounds.com, and let me know what you think below. Let me know how you're feeling during this time. It's very interesting and very beautiful time. So thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate your energy and your attention. Thank you so much.